Ok, boa noite a todos. Hoje estamos com Saed Assaf, o Dr. Saed Assaf. O Dr. Saed Assaf é um profissional na área da gestão estratégica, das tecnologias de informação e comunicação, mas é também um fervoroso ativista de direitos humanos, um advogado para a causa palestiniana e, portanto, desenvolve a sua atividade na Inglaterra por conta da organização Rede para os Refugiados Globais, a Rede de Apoio para os Refugiados Globais, sendo voluntário nessa organização. É palestiniano, está também em contacto com várias organizações palestinianas, tem família na Palestina e, portanto, é uma figura fundamental nestes dias para percebermos qual é o sentir do povo palestiniano. Aqui na Multipolar TV somos sempre pela recolha da informação na sua fonte. Gostamos de analisar os factos e perceber como pensa quem está do outro lado, quem está a sofrer as amarguras da guerra, as amarguras da opressão sionista. Nestes tempos extremamente difíceis, nós tentamos, como disse, ter os factos e depois tirarmos nós próprios as conclusões sem mediadores, nomeadamente sem a mediação da comunicação social corporativa, da comunicação social da classe dominante. Hoje, como disse, temos o Dr. Saed Assaf connosco. Esta conversa vai ser desenvolvida em inglês, portanto, este vídeo é uma gravação e teremos todo o prazer em desenvolver, portanto, e tomar conhecimento em direto com uma pessoa que conhece a realidade palestiniana de forma profunda. Hello, Dr. Saed Assaf, how are you? Do you want to make a small presentation for our audience, please?
Oh, thank you, first of all, for you, Diego, and for your audience. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and thank you for having me.
We are very honored to have someone who knows the reality of the Palestinian people, the reality of during these days of hard oppression from the Zionist regime, because we want to know here in our channel, we always want to know what people think, not what international media think, but what people think themselves. So when all this starts on the October 7th, you have at that time you have any hint, any evidence of what about to happen on that day?
Actually, what started in 7th of October, although it was a surprise for everybody to the extent of what happened, but it was expected. Actually, I was last one week before, I was in the center where I live, and I found people having a store for supporting Palestine, and I was talking to one of the guys there, and I told him, you know, if things are not put to an end, then we will start seeing big issues. And I mean, the scale of issues right now, it's very obvious that it is going beyond what people used to. And I'll tell you something, if nothing done, then we will start seeing things at 10 times, maybe 100 times the scale in terms of number of casualties, in terms of and actually right now, if things are not cooled down, we might see a big disaster. That
An escalation. An escalation.
Yes, big escalation. I mean, it's not just a big escalation. I mean, it is just like the spark of a second an escalation. Then it will go out of control. Looking at the reaction of let's be honest here. I mean, the people who are fueling this issue, it's very clear: United States, Europe, and Israel, of course. But from what I can see, they are not grasping the essence of the context of the issue, and they are.
Why do you think that?
Understanding the extent of the problem and that it might go very bad. I can see from the other side, they are being very patient, that they don't want this escalation because they know the extent of this escalation. And when I say the extent of this escalation, we are talking about 500,000, 300,000 to 500,000 people dead. That bad it is. It is that bad. So
mostly from Gaza.
Not from every Okay, what? Okay, to put it this way, nowadays, before we used to have casualties just from Gaza or just from Lebanese or just from Syrians. Now it's that the situation is so different. Those people who were helpless, they have teeth and nails, and they can scratch, and sometimes they can eat their enemy if it's necessary.
It's a different situation, you say.
Yes, and they are not understanding this fact. It is a different situation. If you want, we can go in details about this, because they shot themselves in the foot. They have caused, with the series of activities that they did in the region,
of course,
they caused the development of something that will eat them without realizing that, because with the change of the situation, they tried first to fight Lebanon, okay, to eliminate any resistance from Lebanon, the Lebanese side in the 2006. And as a result of this, there were 15,000 fighters for Hezbollah. Now Hezbollah has 150 fighters.
He's stronger than ever.
Oh yes. Now they thought, okay, this link, and in the middle of the link, the center is Syria. So let's destroy Syria. This is what they thought. So they had a plan to destroy Syria. They brought all the fanatic people from all around the world into Syria. They made it easy for them to come. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars for those people to come. They gave them all the weapons they need. They give them all the media coverage, everything to make their life easier. And they started this war in Syria. It's okay. They destroyed Syria. This is, I mean, they managed to do that, but they did not manage to break Syria. As a result of this, we have in Syria around 120,000 fighters that are not Syrian army. They are the backup, let's say, or militia fighters that they fought with the Syrian army.
They are linked to Hezbollah also?
exactly. On top of that, you have the Hezbollah who came to Syria.
Of
Then
course.
you have the Iraqi resistance. When America occupied Iraq, they tried to eliminate Iraq. There were 500,000 American soldiers, 300,000 soldiers, and 200,000 missionary contracted soldiers, mainly from South America and from from Asia, from Philippines, and from those countries. So there were in total 500,000 American soldiers on the ground.
Yes.
They could see hell on earth there in Iraq.
Yes,
The
things were
resistance,
not all right for them.
yeah, and actually, I mean, they eventually they surrendered.
Yeah.
They sent their messengers, the Germans, to speak to Iran, to guarantee them
To cool down everything.
a safe exit from Iraq.
Yes.
To
Yes.
that extent, because they weren't even sure about how to get out of Iraq.
Of course.
As a result of this, there were like around 60,000 fighters who defeated. I mean, those fighters, they defeated the United States in Iraq.
Yes.
Okay, after the Syrian issue and the return of ISIS in Iraq, there was a call from the biggest Shiite, let's say, leader for people to fight ISIS. And as a result of this, there was 200,000 fighters added to the 60,000, and they fought ISIS, and they managed to finish ISIS in Iraq. So those fighters, let's say that, I mean, the heart of them, like around 60,000. Those
They are
people,
prepared to fight.
yeah, they are very, very prepared. Okay, what they don't understand as well, that this war that we're talking about is a different war from any other. It is. I'm
Why
not
do
gonna
you
say
say
it's
that?
a holy war. It's it's participating in this war is an honor to any Arab or Palestinian or Muslim in the world to be part of this war.
Yeah.
It's a
People are
big,
saying that for the first time, all the Arab countries are with Palestine.
yes, because it is an opportunity. People look at it as an opportunity to die in this war,
And to
to
solve this
fight and war.
situation.
Yes, and the families of, if their children die in this war, they will be proud that we have participated in this war, and we, so this is the context that United States and the West
Israel.
and Israel, they don't understand.
But they
Now,
produced it, right? They produced it. It's a
yes,
result, it's a direct result of their actions in the Middle East
of
and all over
course,
the world too, not only in the Middle East.
of course, it's they are the way they dealing with the Palestinian cause is very frustrating.
Yeah.
They
And it's
dehumanize.
frustrating for the people too, because
They
they
are,
see that it's not going anywhere, right?
yeah. They thought for some reason that they can silence the Palestinians.
Yeah.
They thought for some reason that uh, when I worked for I worked for American companies, for IT companies.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. I saw your CV.
Yeah. So if one of the issues we had in the emerging markets is the people in the United States, they don't understand that the emerging markets are different contexts. They the plans that they have for Europe or for the United States cannot be applied
to the rest of the world.
To the rest of the world. And when you try to apply them, although they make very big success in their context, they become a big failure in other countries. And I know how things work in the mentality of Americans, and I mean,
they are very arrogant.
Yeah, they hire people to put plans, and those people, they put those plans, whether it works, if it doesn't work, they don't care. Okay, and they keep coming up with plans. If you go back to the Middle East, let's go back to our subject, you'll find you know, you hear about like all these mega plans, big plans, like Donald Trump came with the plan for the centuries deal or whatever.
Yes.
Big,
the plan for a new American century. It's the plan.
Yes, and he comes up with those ideas that it work in a real estate deal, or in you know, in buying or selling some commodities. It doesn't work, and they don't understand the mentality. I can go back to the mentality thing now with you to show the difference in the mentality between the West and the East, between the Middle East, the Palestinians and Europeans, the Arabs and the Europeans, in a while. So with this mentality, they think that those plans that they come up with, they will work, but it doesn't work. Then they will go to a second plan and the third plan. For example, that centuries plan or centuries deal that Trump, and he called it centuries deal. You know, they like those kind of
big words.
Big words. This is a plan that the Americans had based on paralyzing Iraq and finishing Syria. Yes. And after and finishing Hezbollah, and after that they can put this deal as a last reserve. So they failed in Iraq, they failed in Lebanon, they failed in Syria, and then they came to the conclusions. It's like, okay, I have a plan to build a tower of 100 buildings, and I failed. I forgot to do the bases. And I want to put the build house to the top. It doesn't work like that, because the base is destroyed.
Yes.
This plan will not work in such circumstances, because you have failed miserably in multiple layers that you have to introduce in order to put the end or the finishing of this plan. Now the Americans, they're coming with a new plan. They want to take Gaza with the people and transfer them to Egypt.
Yes, they are forcing that.
Yes,
through different ways.
Egypt is not accepting that. The Palestinians will go nowhere.
They will stay there.
Yes. Yes.
And then they will die.
They will not stay there. They will go back to their homes that was taken from them since 1948. So if they are going anywhere, they're going back to their houses that was stolen from them. This is the way.
You are saying that this escalation can get to the end of the two-state solution.
The two-state solution, they have ended it themselves
by frustrating.
They have ended it themselves. Okay, it doesn't work for them as well, for their mentality.
Of course not. Of course not.
Their mentality is based on multiple things, and one of the things that their mentality is based on is supremacy.
Yes.
And supremacy and discrimination. Okay, at multiple levels. By the way, there's discrimination between themselves. So there's discrimination between the European Jewish, the South American Jewish, the Jewish from originally from Arab countries, the Jewish from Africa.
They work by dividing
yeah,
people.
there's big discrimination even between them. But anyways, is this entity is based on superiority, human superiority, on military superiority. Okay,
Yes.
they are so strong nobody can defeat them. Okay.
Yes. That's why they sent the Gerald Ford.
Yes.
Boat.
Yeah, but this is not gonna help anymore. No, it's not gonna help. And I will come back to this as well if you want. So if any of those pillars that they stand on is shaking, then
Yes.
they collapse. And fortunately, more than one of those pillars is not shaking off. Oh, it's being destroyed.
Do you think that reaction from the Hamas was taken because the American empire is not so strong anymore?
Of course,
Is weakened?
it's all related to each other. It's not because American power, they are so strong. They still strong. But American power, or the base of the American power, which is capitalism, it has
Yes.
fallen down. It
It's
has
in crisis.
proven it has proven that capitalism uh, has let's say capitalism has failed to deliver on the two major things that it's supposed to deliver on, which is politics and economy. So
Yes.
they have failed politically and they have failed economically. Because of them, in 2008, it was clear that they have failed the system that's supposed to correct itself
You
by
are talking about subprime
yeah yeah
crisis.
yeah exactly the system the let's say the system was based on self-correction,
Yes.
that you have to leave the market as a free market. The state or the country cannot interfere in the market, and the market will correct itself if there's something wrong,
Yes.
and the supply and demand would control this, and it's based on ups and downs. So you have the market up, then it
It's
goes
going down. You have a crisis.
goes down, it corrects itself. So
Yes.
what happens that they manipulated the system. So the market goes up. When it's about to go down, they did some artificial, not genuine economic
They printed
things.
money. They printed
Yeah,
money.
to make it go up again. So instead of going down, it's going up again. Then when it's about to go down, they
It
made
can
some
never go down.
yeah to go up. So they built multiple layers of artificial, not
Pyramid.
genuine economic development. Then everything all of a sudden collapsed. All
Yes.
those layers that they were barely holding themselves, it has collapsed. And when it collapsed, the main pillar of the
system
is the banks, and the banks has collapsed.
Yeah.
And the not do or the shouldn't do thing is for the state is to interfere with the market. Okay, there was a need for the state to interfere with the market, and not just with the market, to bail out the banks,
of course,
the pillar of the system. Because if the banks go, the whole system, the whole will go. So and this is a defeat. Whether it worked, it didn't work, it's okay. This is not my problem as a researcher. What's my observation or my conclusion as a reserver, that okay, this system has miserably failed. It did not deliver what it's supposed to deliver. Okay, and the main pillar of this system has fallen down and it's proven.
Do you think that failure of the American system, of the neoliberal system and capitalist system, is in part responsible for the reactions, the popular reactions that we are seeing throughout the world,
of course,
in Occidental world?
Of course, actually, because of this failure, and because of the failure on the political system. I live in one of the what they say the greatest democracies in England. We don't.
Yes.
I mean, there's no democracy. This is a big lie. It's not. It's. I mean, you can go and vote, but anyways, they have a network that is ruling everything, and they give the people two people to vote from. Those two people both they report to the same
Yes.
they report to the same group. So if you want the president to be Mr. Red, then you can vote to him, and if you want him to be Mr. Blue, then you can vote to him. But red and blue, they both report to the same. You might find some differences between them, and they might fight between each other, but eventually they are happy with any of them. If somebody they don't like, they wouldn't even allow him to go to that stage.
Of course.
Where is he? They have all the tools to take people out of the system, okay, and not to get them to the stage where they go into elections, anyways. So.
Do you think that in the Palestinian organizations and authorities they have conscience of this mess where United States are right now, and with this conscience they get stronger, they get motivated to act?
The Palestinian Authority knows everything clearly. The issue with the Palestinian Authority is, first of all, they have believed in peacemaking because of the amount of promises that was given to them, and they have built all their work around this. And because the other side they had a plan, so they made everything is around funding from Europe, funding from United States, from England, to everything that is going on in Palestine. When I mean here, I mean schools, I mean health service, I mean
everything was paid for.
Yeah, everything is around this issue. Even the income for the Palestinian Authority is as in terms of tax, it's collected by Israel, and Israel sometimes says, "Oh, we're not giving you the tax this month because you did something wrong."
Of course.
So they are helpless. I think there are like I don't know how many billion where the Palestinians they are not getting their salaries. There are billions in terms of tax that's held by Israelis, and they're not releasing them to the Palestinians. So I believe that the Palestinian Authority is they understand fully what's going on. But if you want to, if my house has a problems and I want to destroy my house and build another house, I should think multiple times because before destroying the house and until I build. So what's and you need to think about the consequences of any action. Yeah, last week the Palestinian Authority refused to condemn Hamas. 5 minutes later, Europe announced that they are not paying
Yes,
the
yes, I know. They are not paying anymore.
anymore.
The funds
Yeah,
are frozen.
yeah. So they understand, and sometimes I think this way. I because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt because
Yes.
I know for a fact they are not betrayers of Palestinians, but I think sometimes they keep their mouth shut or they do things because because it is a responsibility as well in, to and managing the people's day to day, their health, their education. This is resistance.
So they were not eluded. It's
No,
not an illusion problem. They were
no,
not
no,
deceived.
no. Sometimes
They
they did
knew
not.
what's going on.
Sometimes they did not believe that the resistance would make a difference. That difference. That's why they are focusing on diplomatic and non-violence
And
kind
Hamas
of.
rejected that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the nature of everywhere. But anyways, even uh, the way I look at it, even within Hamas, for example, they have 40,000 fighters. How many fighters they were engaged in the fight with this recent fight? Actually, 10,000, 1,000.
Yes.
1,000 fighters, they went in the night to the most sophisticated security area in the world and into the most protected
Area.
military
Yeah.
bases where they were designed as per like the top technologies with sensors and they had the most sophisticated weapons and they caught the Israeli soldiers in their underwears.
Why do
That
you think that happened?
because there are many reasons. They were partying. They were partying. The whole army were partying, and actually the operation started at 6:30 in the morning, and the Israeli army they were partying at 6:30 in the morning. They were still partying from the night before. They were so drunk and they have reached to the extent that they have taken off their clothes. Okay. Honestly, and Hamas, I mean, the fighters came with those.
What do you think when powers from the collective West use that unexpected action from Hamas and the things they've done with civilians to create a narrative where the Palestinians are the bad guys,
You know something?
like that, like
Yeah,
they're like if there is no history anymore. That you don't have nothing behind you. You just have that fact. You know what they've done, and it's bad.
I thought personally, living in the UK and living in and seeing Europe, that this is changing, and it was true. It is changing for the people understanding more, and but this last week's events has shown me that we shouldn't care about them. Honestly, we shouldn't care about even especially governments, because whatever you do, unless you surrender, then
Yes.
they are not happy.
Unless
So
you die.
yeah,
Unless you die.
exactly. So that's therefore the Palestinians, they stopped caring about the opinion, especially of governments in Europe. Whoever want to be a human, he can choose to do that. If whoever chooses to be dehumanized and scared, and I mean what I say, then it's up to him, because the Palestinians, they are occupied, but they did not lose their dignity. They are fighting for their dignity, and they are fighting for their rights, and fighting for what is right. But a journalist, and you are a journalist, if you spread lies, for example, in order to support something that you definitely don't believe in killing children.
Of course not.
Nobody believes in killing children. I am sure the journalists in BBC and in
Of course, they don't believe that.
they don't
know.
believe in, but they are compromising their values, spreading lies about poor population under siege. Why? They are selling themselves, because if they say some other than this, they will lose their job.
Of course.
They will lose their job. So Palestinians can surrender and live a better life if they want to, but they have choose to fight this. However, European, British, and European journalists, government personnel, they have chosen to take their salary at the end of the month and not say the truth.
Yes.
So Palestinians are more free
Than
than them.
them.
So that therefore,
how can we explain to people that are not aware, that are most of the people I know, they see the TV, they read the newspapers, all the mainstream media, and they believe all those things like the one you said about babies, about killing babies. What can you say to explain those people? Hopefully, some of them will be hearing us. That Palestinians are not the bad guys.
If you go back to the history in this aspect, before the mainstream media was controlling the whole picture, and the mainstream media was controlled by them, okay, then people, they wouldn't understand the story. Now, with the social media, with the alternative media
Media.
outlets like your TV, they cannot control the picture. What happened at the beginning of the war, they had made those lies, and those lies used to be prevailing for the whole war. Like in Iraq, for example, it wasn't easy to discover all these lies, they were discovered 2-3 years later.
You had WikiLeaks, and you know what happened to Julian Assange.
Yes,
right?
but right now, especially in this last war, there was no mainstream outlets in the picture. All the photos that were distributed were from the fighters themselves, from the cameras they took to the. So the first 2 days, the journalists, they were sitting 50 kilometers away from the event, reporting about it. But all the pictures and all the stories, they were coming out from the mobile phones and from the cameras of the people around and from the fighters. Now, when they made this lie, I was very disturbed because I didn't know, for example, whether it was true or not because I thought Palestinian fighters would do it. I knew that Palestinian fighters wouldn't do it. But my concern was because when the fighters first uh, went through the upper the wall that they have, the Israelis, the security wall, many people from Gaza, they followed them.
Yes.
All men, kids, all followed. They when they saw that there is a gap in the they are living
Yes,
in
yes,
prison.
yes.
They live
Yes,
in prison for 17 years now. They live in the biggest prison in the world.
yes.
So when
Of the history, maybe.
yeah, so when they saw those openings in the siege, too many people went inside. The people were crying, lots
Yes,
of
yes, yes, yes.
emotions. So I thought maybe like kids might have done it or something, but I knew that this lie will not fly. Let's say because of the social media and everything. It turned out to be an embarrassment for them
Yes.
and for the White House and for the American president. Although they loved the whole story of killing people in a concert, music concert, or
Yes.
beheading 40 children. Now they have killed around 550 children as of now.
Yes.
550 children, 200 and 300 or 290 women in
More
Gaza.
than 6,000 injuries.
More
Injured
than,
people.
yeah, exactly. It's in total around 2,000 people killed. But out of those, there were 500 children, 550,
Yes.
550 children, and around 300 women, and they're still bombing. And by the way, Hamas is not there. Hamas underground.
Is underground.
Yeah, and even Hamas, because they know that Israeli has, they use the collective punishment. They took their families out of the houses because before, even if they know that the fighter is not at home, they would bomb his family and kill his family and children. It
Of
happened
course.
hundreds of times. Now the Hamas fighters, they evacuated their families before.
Of course.
You know, the other day they have bombed a house of the family of the wife of one of the fighters. He's the spokesman of Al Jihad Islami. So his house is empty. His family's house is empty. So they bombed the house of his wife's family.
Of course.
Yeah, this is the kind. So now there are 350 35,000 foot and on their airplanes throwing bombs on children and women and there's no Hamas.
Cowardly.
Yeah,
Cowardly.
cowardly, killing people and they're not and this will not change, by the way. This will not change
How people can live
in
in
the equation.
in a place like that?
They have no other choice if they want, because they live there because of their belief. And this is what America, they don't understand. They think if they open the borders, that the people will leave. No, the people will not leave. Okay, and I'm telling you, they are putting plans based on their what their perspective of things, and their perspective, and they are actually ignorant
and arrogant. They are very arrogant.
but arrogant and ignorant
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on, and their plans will definitely not work. It has never been. It has never worked. They failed miserably in every plan that they came up with. Now,
What is the main sentiment of the Palestinian people? They have hope in achieving something. They are more afraid from the future. What do you think is the main sentiment amongst the people?
Diego, before we were before Israel, before Israel would say we could send, in the military they have the music troupe who play music when a president come, or when they are if there's an event or something. They said
Yes.
we can send our music unit from Israeli army to occupy Beirut. They were that arrogant,
Mhm.
and we believed ourselves. And this is a problem, and this is very important in our subconscious, that the Israeli army is undefeatable because they are strong. They have the best training, and they have the best weapons, and they're
Yes.
supported by America, by the West. But even though we fight it, we did not surrender. We knew we were gonna die, but we fought. We fought with stones.
Yes, with sticks and stones.
Yes, and if you go back to the history, Hamas first fighters of Hamas, they fought with a knife, with a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
But things are changing. Why? Because the desire develops miracles. Okay, as an educated person, to be honest, I don't want revenge from Israel, and
You
I
just
teach,
want to live in peace.
yeah, I teach my children. My son, 17 years old. I teach him. I tell him, something. Israel, we lost our children, our villages, cities, olive trees. We lost a lot of money. We had to escape from our country to other places, and we lost everything. But we don't want things that we don't want to lose is our dignity and our humanity. We don't want them to make us like them, and
Do
this is
you
most.
do you put all the Jewish people in Israel in the same package, or do you know someone that stays
No,
like
of
that?
course not. Of course not. Some people first, some people they were misled. Some people they were born there. Okay. Some people uh, they know the truth, and they talk about it. I have seen soldiers refusing service in the military. I've seen.
Yes.
Uh, I mean, but bottom line, no no intellectual, no doctor, artist, journalist that has self-respect will respect himself if he's part of this.
Of course.
Some of them, they just choose to turn a blind eye, keep their eyes closed, but they know the truth. They know the truth. And when I say we need to put an end for this, I say it because I don't want anybody to be harmed, nor from our side, neither from their side. If this is not stopped, things are getting nasty, very bad. We will see in presented events, unprecedented events in the region. And this is, as I told you, what we have seen last week is different from what we have seen before. And what we will see in the future will be so different. And there will be the scale of bloodshed will be much higher, way higher.
Do you think it has potential to engage a world war? This event?
I mean, if yeah, I see the potential of engaging a regional war
with Iran.
A regional war with an international award involvement, but the war will be in the region. Yeah, Iran is a very, but they would. I think it wouldn't be in the benefit of anybody of any side, neither the Palestinian and the resistance side, or the American side for Iran to be engaged in this war, because this means a disaster for the whole world. It will be a big, yeah, because you're talking about 50% of the oil and gas goes to the world. You're talking about yeah, it will cause a collapse in the world.
What do you are expecting from other countries from the region? What do you expect them to do? Do you expect them that they provide support, military support to Palestinian fighters? Do you expect that they engage Israel? They obligate Israel to talk and to negotiate the two-state solution, for example. What do you expect from them?
You know, the regional countries. First of all, Palestinians, they don't need their engagement in militarily in the.
Do you think the Palestinians can work by their own resources?
No. We shouldn't work by our own. They cannot. They shouldn't work with their own, but they can work with the people that are preparing for this, and they are fully prepared, and that there's no influence over them by any party. Yeah, so I cannot trust. I mean, I don't expect from like other official armies to be engaged in this war. But there are enough fighters, and actually not just enough fighters. The fighters that we have that in that region, as I told you, as a byproduct out of all the problems that the Americans did, around 55, about 500,000 fighters. Those fighters, they are the best fighters in the world. They have been the most experienced fighters in the world. They have been through, the most difficult battles.
Yes.
And they have won those battles. They liberated Aleppo. They
Yes.
liberated the borders between Syria and Lebanon with the most difficult geography, and they fought against one of the worst fighters that you can fight against,
Yes.
the ISIS, and they
Yeah.
won that. They won that war. Those fighters, they are prepared, and they are waiting eagerly to be engaged in this battle. They dream about it, and they dream about dying in such a battle. Uh, if you
Is there
compare
is
this,
there is there any possibility uh, of not going to battle by doing some diplomacy, by achieving something through diplomacy?
we are okay. There are 2 points of views here. I believe, and one of the reasons why the resistance did not engage all those
Yes.
powers that I told you about is because Israel, as I told you, sits on those pillars. And if you take off those pillars, Israel will. I've been personally saying for a long time. You know that when the baby come out, there's a cord coming that
Yes.
yeah. So usually they tie it with a
The umbilical cord.
yeah, exactly. They tie it with a little thread, and after
Yeah.
a few days,
It
the
falls.
remaining of the cord, it falls down.
Yes.
I believe Israel will fall the same way. All of a sudden, we will find no Israel. If you dismantle those pillars, if you get the Israelis to the point of thinking in their subconscious, like what we thought before, that that the enemy is undefeatable. We thought that Israel is undefeatable, and we lost our wars before we go to war. Diego,
Yeah.
because we had this thinking in the back of our mind. Now, if Israelis reach to that point, and they are reaching to that point, no Israeli soldier want to fight face to face with a fighter from Hezbollah or from Hamas.
Do you
And
think we,
maybe
we are going to the final fight? We are starting the final fight.
this is what I'm telling you. It's a decision of the world. If they want to go to the fight, then we will win the fight. This is definitely. But over 500,000 bodies from both sides. Whereas we might not go to the fight, and we will win the fight without this mass
Fighting.
murder. Yeah, without fighting. Yes, exactly. When the Israelis became human, normal human beings that, or I mean,
Do you
they
think
are normal.
with Netanyahu and all those right-wing
Yeah,
parties, it's possible to?
not Netanyahu. Netanyahu, he's a loser. Netanyahu, he's a loser.
Is
He's
going down?
he's yeah, he lost miserably. He's a thief.
Yes, it is.
He's a thief. He steals from his. He makes commission on the weapons that he buys for his art. I mean, he's a thief. I don't even care about Netanyahu. What I care about, that we all human beings, and they should start thinking that those are human beings. I either live with them as equal human beings, or I have the chance to go back to my country where I came from. Simple, simple, straightforward. In order to do that, you, Israelis, they have to change their mentality, and their mentality of superiority, that I'm superior. I can take their land, I can kill their children, I have no problem.
Do you see differences between Zionism and other Israeli parties? I'm asking this because maybe they have someone in their national politics that is able to achieve a world of peace between both.
No. At the current situation, those people, they have a certain amount of those, but those people, they were silenced. And by the way,
They are oppressed too. They are oppressed.
Yeah, they are silenced. But anyways, our experience with the Israelis, even the left wing of Israelis, they are Zionists.
Yes.
And they were enjoying the fact that they are superior, or they have superiority over the. They are in a less kind of attitude, but no, they didn't do anything to. And even when they help the Palestinians, they help the Palestinians from this position.
Yes.
Of
From a place
superiority.
of superiority.
Yeah, but Palestinians, to the surprise of Israelis and to the surprise of Americans, they don't believe that they are not humans, or as Israeli minister said, animals
Yes, they
or
are called.
savages.
Yes.
We do not. I mean, we want to surprise them that we don't believe in this. And I think the animal is the is or the sick person. Let's say, is the person who believes in such ideas.
Yes. Who do you think? Who do you think from the great powers of the world, like Russia, China, India, who can mediate any kind of diplomatic achievement here?
Yeah, so far, even Russia is under
Yes.
sanctions, and under China as well, because they're dominating now. They're losing their status in the world, because again of the collapse of the system of capitalism.
Mhm.
And what they're trying to do, okay, they went to Russia and the China, for example. The main issue is between China and
In the United States.
the United States. So they went to China to make a deal again, a deal
Yes.
like in the same. And actually, Trump tried this because he's obsessed of deals. So he went to China and tell them, okay, let's divide the war between you and us. And China basically told them, no, why? You take it all. And why did
It's not
Trump?
possible.
Yeah, why did Trump wanted to put this limits? Because they knew that they are losing control over
Yes.
everything. So they thought, okay, if we're losing control, let's put like those limits where we can at least keep what we have,
We
or
have.
protect what we have. So you care about this. I mean, you take responsibility of this and this and this, and we will not bother you, but don't come close to our area or our. So this is what Trump wanted from China, but China was winning everything.
Yes.
So it's not within their interest to put those borders. So they told America, we are not looking to roll anybody or to divide the war. We are about economy and development of the world. And they came up with the road and the Belt and Road for
Mhm.
that. So basically, China refused this, but United States, they knew that they are losing the war to China, and it's showing clearly in Africa now. Showing clear, they started to make those kind of problems. Diego, I worked in a very important company for IT, for telecommunication, for this stuff. At that time, they told us there is a company in China called Huawei,
Yes.
and they are good, but they are good for African countries and this stuff. Don't threat us, but they are doing products to cover all the communication.
Yes,
Uh,
5G.
yeah. Later on, they said, okay, Huawei are taking, are using our products, and they are making duplicates of them, and they're selling to Africa. Again, this is not bothering us nowadays. Then after some time, Huawei started developing their own products, not
Yes.
similar to the to the product of the American company. Later on, now Huawei produces the same products 3 times, 4 times better than the American company's product, and that's why they started.
Yes,
you
they
know,
are afraid. They are very afraid from Huawei.
yeah, yeah, because Huawei, they produce products that American companies and Western companies cannot produce. And now with the 5G, they didn't know what to do. Now China is about to release the 6G.
The
Where
6G, I
yeah,
read that.
whereas in Europe and the United States, they did not come with the 5G technology. And if you look at the 5G technology, for example, you can live without it, no problem. Like when they produced electricity,
Yes.
people they used electricity just to light the house. So people thought, okay, we can live without electricity. We can just get,
Yes. It's like
use
the computers. It's like everything. Then
yes,
you get used.
yes. But now it's not getting used. It becomes a part of your daily life. Now, 5G, all the technologies that will be produced on top. Now it's good with the current technologies. They were good with the 4G or with the normal internet. But the next generation of technologies will need 5G.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't have 6G at that time, then you will be late. Now with the Chinese attitude, they go for to Zimbabwe, for example. They told them, you want 5G, you don't have to pay anything for 5G. We will do everything, we'll install it for you, and when you start getting money out of that, you pay us. This is the difference in the mentality of
Yes.
the Chinese versus the Americans. So with the whole mentality of Americans and Europeans is different from the mentality with the Chinese.
It's all about exploiting. It's all about exploiting.
Yes, because the Chinese is, they are what they're saying. We make you stronger, and when we make you stronger, you
You
buy
make
from
us
us more.
stronger.
You buy from us more.
Yes. You
You
make
buy
us
more
stronger.
from us.
Yes.
But the American and the French and the European
See,
approach was suck your blood and keep you, barely alive. Last
do you
week they
think?
found.
Do you think that we have more than 1 hour? We have. Do you think that they Americans they just don't know how to behave in this new world? They are not finding their place in this new world, and
Yeah,
that's why they are having this aggressive attitude towards Palestinian people in this case?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's not just has to do with the Americans. All the previous imperators or countries, they fell under the same issue.
Yes.
The empires, all the previous empires, they reacted the same. They had the power and they don't want to give up this power. And the worst thing is not just
they use force to retain it.
Yes, and in our case, actually, it's even more complicated, Diego. It's not America just who's losing the power. I believe personally, my way I look at things, that there is this group of people that have controlled the world for 500 years now, and those people are losing the power. Those people, they are controlling America, Israel, Europe. They controlling the lines between, and so they are losing the power. If Russia and China worked fine with them, they wouldn't have an issue to move their work to Russia and China, and they make this easy transmission of power, like what happened after the World War II, when the when the power transmitted from Europe, from British Empire, the United States, very smoothly, very friendly.
But they are the same.
Yes, they are the same, and that's why now you cannot differentiate between their policies, because those people who control the world through the power of United States and Europe, they don't have any armies. They don't have any. So basically, they control the world through the power and the armies and the soft power of the countries that they control. They control the mind of those countries, and then they make these countries to apply their agendas.
Yes.
And if somebody does something wrong, even in the countries, they took the place of the deep state of each country.
Mm-hmm.
The deep state of each country. It used to be very patriot national institute that collects
all the data.
No, it's not just all the data. It collects the interest of all the different organizations within.
Yes.
And so the interests of the country. And if something goes wrong, they would interfere, including maybe taking off the president. Okay, because they have collective control of everything, and usually it's national. And betray it. This is traditionally. Now, this deep state in Europe, in the United States, it was replaced by one organization. And the difference here that this organization does not care about the national interest. It cares about this group's interest.
Yes.
Therefore, that's why you see some countries, they do things against their national interest and against their
against the will of their people, against their national
the will of their people, and even against their interest, their national interest.
Yes, you are seeing that in Europe, all over Europe.
Yes,
and that's
they took Europe to a war.
Yes, to
even
Ukraine.
If there is even if there is differences between Russia and Europe, those differences could be resolved.
Of course.
Okay, but there was no interest whatsoever for Europe to go into war with Russia.
Of course not.
And cause this disaster that we are all living through. But they order them to do that. They have to do that.
And now they are using the Palestinian pretext to leave Ukrainian people behind.
Yes, I mean they will have to they will have to leave, and I feel very sorry for Ukrainian people. Very sorry for Ukraine.
They use them, they chew them, and then they spit them out.
They spit them out, and they didn't care about they wanted the Ukrainians to keep fighting with Russians until the last Ukrainian.
Yes,
they didn't care. And this is bad. And they didn't care that European countries, they are suffering because of this war.
Yes.
Okay, I understand if there between countries there are issues there, but there are limits to when you start a fight.
Yes.
And start like this misery. They choose to make their fight, although they could resolve even the issue between Ukraine and Russia if they wanted to do that.
Yes.
But this is again, you said it. It is the implication of them losing. China is winning big time, and they cannot stop this. It's too late. It is too late. And Trump actually came with a solution, very important solution. He said, "Okay, if you don't want to divide, I told you that."
He tried to slow down.
He tried to make this big deal of dividing the world between Russia and America, United States. He told them, "Okay, we will have no problem with you doing whatever you want, but you have to pay us intellectual property."
Yes, they want royalty.
On everything that you sell to the world. And they told them, okay, this is not under intellectual property. So
because they say that everything China does is a copy from the United States.
Yeah. Or no, it was originally invented by United States.
Yeah, it's like United States paying royalties from pizza to Italians, hamburger to Germans,
and cars, everything
to Europeans.
Yes. So, and honestly, he was, if you remember at that time, Trump was mentioning the intellectual property in every speech, because this one, and this has failed as well, because as I told you, they have this imagination that is, that creates all those ideas that will not it cannot be implemented anywhere.
Of course. And that's the world is changing so fast, even in Europe. We are seeing countries like France, for example, which is traditionally the place of freedom, of human rights. France has forbidden all the demonstrations, pro-Palestinian demonstrations. Germany too. And what I want to ask you is, this is unthinkable for me I never thought that I will live up to see these things happening, like censorship, not only in the mainstream media, but in social media too. But what I want to ask you is, you don't have afraid of being in the internet, like denouncing, giving your voice to Palestinian cause, knowing that in some place people like you are being arrested, are being prohibited of talking, of acting in the best interest of their people? I mean, you work for American companies.
I worked before American companies, But anyways, I don't expect this to happen because I'm not promoting violence. Actually, I'm trying to stop violence rather than promoting violence. I'm trying to explain the context of things to stop any violence to any person, and I'm genuinely, I don't want
But
anybody.
they don't want context. For example, in the Ukraine war, they said that when you talk about context, they say that you are using Putin narrative. So they don't want context. They just want simple facts that can throw to
It's
people.
not it's not facts. They built all their last week's I mean propaganda based on lies that they have
Yeah.
admitted. They have admitted that they have lied about it. So basically, from my side, if they want to accept this, if they don't want to accept this, I'm not trying to uh, to 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 uh, to escalate things or to promote violence. At the contrary, I want this violence, this cycle of violence to stop. And I'm telling them it will not stop just by oppressing Palestinians or trying to send them to Egypt. It's not gonna stop. I'm saving their time if they want to save their time. But if they don't take the warnings of all the international community, all the international community says the same. I did not invent this parameters. I mean, all the international they are telling them, even the countries in the region, telling them that you have to agree on the Palestinians' rights. I'm not prepared to give any of my rights.
We have to come to an ending. What do you want to say to people from Portuguese language countries, from all the space of Portuguese language? What do you want to say to them
I
about?
want, yeah, I want to say to them that we all the world, although we speak different languages and we have different cultures, we are all human beings. I met Portuguese, and after maybe 30 years of my life, not me seeing anybody who's a Portuguese, and I found them very lovely people, and I enjoyed being mingling with them. So we all humans, and we all have to stand to each other when it comes to human values. And what's important is human values, and every life is precious. And standing uh, to the big causes like the cause of the Palestinian is a must for everyone to end this cycle of violence and to save innocent lives. The pressure from um, every single from every area, no country or no people's pressure would be worthless. Every drop comes into this pot is important and will make it it will ease the suffering of others.
Okay, Saed, it was a huge pleasure to have you here with me. I think that we can do it again
Of course,
in the future, in the near future. I hope that everything is going all right for you and for your family, and
thank you very
nothing
much.
bad will happen to you. Thank you so much, and
Thank you very much.
see you.
See you. Thank you very much. Thank you, dear.
Pronto, e assim terminamos esta entrevista com o nosso convidado de hoje. Espero que tenham gostado. A Multipolar TV tenta trazer-vos aqui quem possa dar luz sobre os factos que vão acontecendo. Uma vez mais, inscreva-se no canal, partilhe e apoie esta causa e esta informação alternativa que aqui lhe trazemos. Muito obrigado e boa noite.